This is music, and this is still the Summer of Simon. Welcome to another episode of the Summer of Simon, a sub-series within the First Impression series, in which I follow up on another crazy, generous VCLT sent to me by the legend that is Simon Pieface. So yes, I will share with you my first impressions of all the crazy CDs in this crazy VCLT. Check out the Pieface channel if you love extreme metal and CDs. Anyways, I got a handful of CDs to talk about from the VCLT, starting with this one here, Mind Dead, and this is called Abandon All Hope, and it looks very death doomy, but it's actually new metal, and it's not your frat boy new metal. Fortunately, it's more like I guess slightly emotional boy new metal. So you got some pretty decent groovy riffs on here. The vocals are kind of maybe a little bit tough guy-y, but that's okay in this case. And yeah, it's a pretty decent new metal album in my opinion. I actually quite enjoyed it. So yeah, nice. Up next we have this one here. This is Mob Rules and it's called Beast Reborn. And it's one of these fold out digipacks. I would consider this to be, I know it sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but it's like modern traditional heavy metal. And the reason why I use the term modern traditional heavy metal is that I want to be able to distinguish between that and the new wave of traditional heavy metal, which is much more retro. This here sounds a little bit like it's inspired by modern day Iron Maiden. So you have similar song structures and similar approaches, but there's also a slight Euro power metal feel to this, not a whole lot though. You have a lot of melody on here. You have some old school heavy metal riffs, modern production though, and pretty powerful vocals, catchy choruses, nice guitar harmony work. So yeah, it's a pretty good heavy metal album. I enjoyed listening to this as well. I wouldn't consider it like a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's pretty solid and I quite enjoyed it. So that's good. Up next you have this one here. This is Le Queue by Muck. This here is also, in my opinion, new metal, but new metal with Visual K vocals and an overall Visual K approach. So you have the new metal riffs and the groove and all that stuff, but the vocals are very dramatic and everything sounds dramatic. So yeah, it's actually pretty good because in addition to the new metal stuff, you do have some elements from other genres. It's a little bit progressive in places, and so it's actually pretty interesting. Maybe the vocals, if you're not used to Visual K, they might be an acquired taste. But I actually found this a pretty interesting listen for sure. So that was pretty nice. Up next, 6 Feet Under, and this one is Unborn, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Unborn. I think it says Unborn right there. Anyways, yes, a death metal band considered a joke nowadays. But this one here is actually pretty good. Even the vocals are pretty decent for the most part. They don't sound weak. There are a couple of goblin shrieks or whatever, squeals that are a little bit annoying to me. But other than that, the vocals are actually pretty good. Death metal with not too much brutality, and the guitar tone is not too heavy, so It sounds a little bit thrashy in places. It also sounds like they are drawing a little bit on some bolt thrower-like stuff in parts and some immolation light perhaps in places, and some old school death metal. You have some blast beats, but not too many. More melody than maybe you might expect. So yeah, 6 feet under, but this one it's enjoyable. There you go. And up last we have this one here, Nordic Rage by Slowgate. To my ears, this is groove metal. Groove thrash is probably a fairer description. So yeah, you do have a lot of like groovy riffs, of course, and you got kind of groove metal tough guy vocals. At times, the vocals remind me a little bit of Propane, actually, which is not a problem to me at all. And these guys also go beyond just groove and thrash metal. So you do have some fast thrash parts, some heavy groove parts, mid-tempo groove and thrash and all that stuff. But for example, the song Rage in Eden draws a lot on melodic black metal, which I think is pretty cool. And you also have some elements that are almost like folky. And, so they go a little bit beyond the groove metal approach. And you got some pretty decent guitar solos too. So, yeah, this was also an enjoyable listen, masterpiece. Probably not good. Yes, I liked it. So there you go. Another handful of CDs from Five Faces Crazy VCLT. He is one of the most supportive and generous members of our corner of the physical music media collecting community right here on YouTube. And he puts out videos where he shows a lot of stuff that is, quite obscure and extreme. So if that's your cup of tea, check out his channel for now. Thanks for watching.